Hey guys, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As you can tell by the title, I wanted to talk to you guys about the debt snowball and the debt avalanche payment method. So there are several ways to pay off debt. Obviously, you want to do what's best for you in your financial situation, but I wanted to go over the differences between the two, and then I wanted to give you guys two scenarios, show what the different payment methods would be for each scenario, and then I wanted to show you a really good tool that I found on the internet that has helped me and kind of motivate me to continue with my debt payoff. So if you are interested in that, please keep watching. Okay, so before I even get into the scenarios, for those who are not aware, debt snowball means you are paying off your debt from the smallest amount to the largest amount. So for example, if you had a mortgage, you had a car loan, student debt, and maybe a medical bill, you're probably going to pay off your medical bill first, then maybe your car loan, and then student loan, and then mortgage. But it obviously depends on the balance that you have. The avalanche method is paying it with the highest interest. So you're most likely going to pay off maybe credit cards first, and then maybe your car loan, followed by mortgage, or maybe something like that. Before I go ahead and go over the scenarios, the first thing that I would recommend you do is just write down everything that you owe. Every single type of debt, whether it's credit card debt, your mortgage, your car loans, personal loan, medical bill, anything like that. Just write it down. Put the minimum payment, the interest rate, and the balance. The first scenario is based off of my situation. Most of these balances are from the end of December, so kind of to get you an idea of my total debt at the end of December. Except for my car. My car is a lease. I'm only doing the minimum payment until my lease is up, and then from there I'm either going to probably buy the car or I'm going to get a new car with a sufficient down payment. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but in this scenario, I just put the amount that I would owe supposedly at the end of the 3-year lease and have that as my debt. So here is a list, and don't worry about the to-do. This is just my notepad I use for lists and notes that I use. But as you can see, this for my scenario, at the end of December, I had a balance of $664.61. The minimum payment was $28 and my interest rate was 27.49%. Credit card 2, I had a balance of $1,605.70 with a minimum payment of $53 and an interest rate of 24.49%. My student loan, this was not the beginning balance, this again was just the balance as of the end of December, and that was at $8,113.86 with a minimum payment of $106.39 and an interest rate of 3.5%. Now I had 4 smaller loans that comprise of this loan amount, and right now they're not showing the interest rate, so I kind of just put the average, which was about 3.5%. And then I have my car. So this is the amount that supposedly I owe, or I would be paying if I wanted to buy out my car at the end of the lease. So pretend my car I purchased in December, and this was the loan amount with the minimum payment of $355 and an interest rate of 5.27%. Now some of these I just got the average interest rates or minimum payments online, especially for the second scenario, since you'll be able to see the scenarios are different and I don't have all of the different types of debt as in my actual scenario. So now that you have them all written down like I do here, you're going to want to list them out from the smallest balance to the highest, or the highest interest to the lowest interest. So I'm going to do both just to show you guys. So if I were to do the debt snowball, oops. Okay, so if I were to do the debt snowball method, I would want to put my lowest balance first. And so that would obviously be my credit card 1. So I'm going to put I'll just put credit card 1. And then I would do credit card 2. And then I would put down my student loan. And then I would put down my car lease, or my car, I'm sorry. So I know this happens to be the exact same order as the scenario that I wrote it down in. This is actually just what I put from the debt that I have had the longest to the debt I have had the soonest, if that makes sense. Now, if I wanted to pay it off the debt avalanche method, I would take the highest interest first. So, as you can see, my credit card 1, that one has the highest interest, so I'm going to put credit card 1. Then I would put credit card 2. Then I would put my car. And lastly, I would put my student loan. So based on that, you would take a look at your payments. So my credit card 1 is $664. Credit card 2 is $1,605. Student loan is $8,113.86. And then $14,352 is the amount I would owe for my car. Now, the thing with Debt Snowball is the recommended way if you are just starting out with debt payoff. Okay, so if you are just starting out, you may not want to start in debt avalanche. And that is because you are starting off the debt avalanche with the highest interest rate. You're not going to see the forms of debt go away as faster, most likely, because you're just trying to eliminate as much payment going towards interest. So I wouldn't recommend going to start with debt avalanche if you're just beginning to pay it off, or you're really just trying to get motivated into paying off debt, just because you may feel like you're at a plateau with the debt avalanche if you're paying off one balance for a really long time that has a high interest rate. And I'll show you guys that in the tool I use. It's an Excel spreadsheet, and it just kind of lays it out, gives you the estimated payoff date, and shows you how much interest you'd be saving and how much interest total you'd be paying at the end of everything. So I'll go ahead and compare these two. I'm just going to go ahead and write the balances again here. So credit card 1 is $664, credit card 2 is $1,605, car is $14,352, and my student loan is $8,113. Now obviously I didn't put the full amount, but you can kind of see how much you're going to be paying off first. Now, in my real life scenario, again, in real life, my car is a lease, so this doesn't really apply to me. But in real life, my debt snowball method was also my debt avalanche method. So I was paying off the balance of the highest interest first, which happened to be my lowest balance. That's not going to happen all the time. I don't know how I got lucky in that situation, but I was lucky enough to be paying off the lowest balance with the highest interest first. So this is what mine looks like. I'm going to move into a second scenario, which is different forms of debt compared to me, and it may have a bigger balance like maybe you. So say you have a mortgage and it's $325,000. I don't know where you live. That's kind of like actually a pretty decent price. Maybe like 10 years ago, that would be the average for a house around me, but the houses now where I live, they're like double that amount for a basic 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So anyways, so say you have a mortgage, that's your balance, you have your monthly payment of $1,540 and an interest rate of 3.92. let's say you also got into some credit card debt. So your first one is at $6,000 balance. You have a minimum payment of $92 and an interest rate of 19.8%. And then you also got another credit card, have $500, not as big of a balance, with a $60 minimum payment and an interest rate of 22%. Then you may have a car loan. So let's say that's $22,000. You have a minimum payment of $400 and an interest rate of 5%. You have a student loan that you're trying to pay off. Let's say that's $25,000. You have a minimum payment of $280 and an interest rate of 6%. And then let's say you have a personal loan. You took it out $3,000. Your minimum payment is $103 and your interest rate is 14%. And then let's say you had a medical bill of $500, maybe an ER visit, maybe a surgery. I don't know. Let's just say that because medical bills are a big thing. I've had plenty of medical bills in the past. That just wasn't in my situation at the end of December. So now I'm going to take my notepad because I don't have enough to list down here. But if I were to do the debt snowball, and then let me put scenario 2. Okay, so if I were to do the debt snowball method, I'm just gonna go and browse, see which one has the lowest interest, or I'm sorry, the lowest balance. Now you can see that I have a credit card balance of $500 and a medical bill of $500. Because this one has interest, you're gonna do the medical bill first. The medical bills do not have interest, at least from my experience. They give you a monthly payment option, or you can just pay it all up front. But I'm gonna put medical bill. And that's $500. Then I'm gonna put that credit card too, and I'm just gonna actually abbreviate that to save space, and that is $500. Okay. So I'm gonna check mark this off since this one has more. Then the next balance is going to be my personal loan. I'm gonna put PL. And that is going to be $3,000. Then I'm gonna do credit card 1. And that is gonna be $6,000. And then I have my mortgage, car loan, and student loan. So my car loan would be next, and that is $22,000. And then you have your student loan, that's $25,000, and your house is last at $325,000. Okay, now if I were to do it the debt avalanche method, the highest percent I am seeing is the credit card 1. And that is at $6,000. And then, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it would be credit card 2. I'm gonna get my whiteout. See, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so credit card 2 has the highest interest, and that is a balance of $500. Then I have my credit card 1, and that is $6,000. And then we have my personal loan, and that is $3,000. Then we have my car loan, that is $22,000. Let's see, what's next? Oh wait, no, it should be my student loan. and that was $25,000. So I have student loan of $25,000 at 6%, then my car loan at $22,000. Okay, and then we're going to say my mortgage. Oops. That is $325,000 with my medical bill at last at $500. Now, medical bills, those are a little bit different. What I would do is I would call, either let them know how much you have to pay up front. If you don't have the full $500, maybe you have $350 that you can do. So see if maybe there's a way where you can just pay it off. Sometimes they're lenient and we'll do that. If not, you'll most likely have to have a payment option for like maybe 4 months, 5 months, depending on how much you can afford at that time. So medical bill is most likely not going to be the last thing, because it's going to take a while to pay your mortgage. And this is a good example as far as the ability to pay off your debt Avalanche versus your debt Snowball. So say you're not making that much money a month. You're barely making by just with the minimum payments. You may feel like you're at a plateau once you get to even just the credit card one, having to pay off $6,000. Say you're only to do $500 at a time. That can be a lot. As far as a long time that you're still paying off this credit card, you may get discouraged and be more likely to maybe pause or stop your debt payoff. Maybe start off with the debt Snowball, see how that works, and then maybe you can move into debt Avalanche if you feel like you want to try that. Now, next I'm going to show you the tool I use through Excel. I just found it, I believe, on a YouTube video. I don't remember who it was by, but I clicked on this link. I'll give you guys the link down below where you can download it. And basically you're just able to do the same thing that I listed out on the paper digitally on an Excel, and then it will tell you, you can set it up to pay off a certain order. It will tell you the debt payoff amount as well as the total interest paid. So it's really cool. I really recommend it no matter how much debt you have left, no matter what type of debt you have. I always recommend it. Some people don't include the house mortgage just because they know it's going to be a while for them, and it may be discouraging to see, you know, total debt payoff is 30 or even like 20 years down the line. That can be discouraging. So what I would possibly do is list them out on the Excel sheet without your mortgage and just see how the payoff date and timing and payoff amount looks without the house. And then you can always add in the house to see completely when you think you're going to be paying off all your debt. So hopefully this helps. If you want to see that Excel sheet, definitely stay tuned.
Alright, so for those that want to see the Excel sheet, feel free to download this as I say it in case you want to kind of try it out as I demo it. But basically you just Google debt payoff calculator, put in Excel, and then look for vertex42.com, and you're going to go to debt reduction calculator. Then you are going to scroll down until you see the download Excel. And then you're going to scroll down a little bit until you see download. And it's just going to take you to that. You're going to click on it and it's going to open up. Alright, so this is what it's going to show up as. Once it's open, you're going to hit enable editing. And now I'm just going to put in information. So I'm going to start off with scenario 1, which is based off of my situation. And I'm going to put credit card number 1. And I'm just going to use the arrow keys. You can click on each box or use the arrow keys, whatever you prefer. And lastly is my car. Remember, in this situation, I'm pretending that I actually purchased the car, not leased it, and the amount is going to be $14,352 and 80 cents with a interest rate of 5.27 and $355 as my payment. I'm going to delete this row, and this is where you can customize your order. So if you had like a 0% interest promotional credit card, then you can put that one as first and then put it in a certain order. If you have a medical bill, those don't usually have interest rates or minimum payments. You can always call and then select or have them set up minimum payments, but usually they just have the bill as is. So if you were wanting to customize that, you would have to put that one in first, and then if you're wanting to do Debt Snowball or Debt Avalanche, you have to like kind of figure out the correct order and then place the numbers accordingly, just because when you put in like a medical bill like that, it's not going to calculate it properly, and I'll show you that in the second scenario. But for now, I'm just going to ignore the custom order, and I'm going to go down to the monthly payment. So this is your minimum payments, and so you can see $542.39. If I change that, that's exactly what the total is here. But you want to do more than that. So let's say we have an extra $200 each month. So we'll put it at $742.39. That's going to show your minimum payments plus an extra $200 of your Snowball. And then if we scroll down, you have the option here to change this method. So you can do Snowball, you can do Avalanche method, you can do the order as you entered it on the table, you can do no Snowball, or custom with that order that I just talked about a minute ago. But we're going to keep it on Snowball, and you can tell that the first debt that would be focused on is the credit card 1, and that will be paid off. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot to change the date. So we're going to change this to July 14th, 2020. Okay, now you can see that the dates will update, and now it's showing that credit card 1 will be paid in November of 2020, and then April 2021 for credit card number 2. Student loans would estimated to be paid off December 2022, and car loan would be August 2023. So it shows here the total interest paid, and that would be $2,044.41, and the estimated month that you'd be completely debt-free is August of 2023. So I really like this tool because not only does it show you how many months that it's going to take to pay off, it gives you the estimated month and year that it would be paid off, and that shows you how much interest that you've paid. So I like seeing that because personally I don't like paying more money than I need to, and seeing $2,000, that's a lump sum of money that could be applied towards another down payment, it could be put towards savings or investing, it could be put in so many different options. And so that is the reason why I've done Avalanche, and you'll see in just a second, is that it will reduce the significant amount of interest that you have to pay just from paying off the highest interest first. So I'm going to change this here to Avalanche, and again, I'm not changing the Snowball amount, I'm just changing it to highest interest debt first. So let's click on that. Now it's going to show a month earlier, so July 2023, and it's going to show $1,928.42. Now that already sounds better to me. It's below $2,000, and that is just doing $200. So obviously if I contribute more money, it will go down even more, but this is what it looks like with just the minimum $200. Alright, so now let's go back to Snowball, and I'm going to put in an extra $500. So say I have more income, or I just go through sinking funds and different expenses, and I either wean them out or I decrease the budgeted amount towards, like, say, reduce money for a grocery budget, reduce money for a clothing budget if you have that set aside, and just eliminate unnecessary expenses. Maybe you're able to find $500 each month. So I'm going to change this to 10, 42, 39. Should change, so it's an extra $500 for the Snowball, and that automatically changes the payoff. So now you're seeing September 2022, which is awesome. That's pretty much like a whole year ahead. And then if you look down here back at the interest, it's $14.19. So that's way less. That's like $600 less in interest. And then let's go to Avalanche. Let's see what that would bring it to. So it'd bring it a month earlier for the payoff date, and it brings the total to $1297.20. Yeah, it just lights a fire in me, I guess you can say. So maybe this will come in handy for any of you guys that are just starting, or maybe you're in the middle, or you're almost towards the end. But this will kind of help show you guys the potential that you'd be putting towards interest, and how much you could possibly be saving by paying it off faster. And usually, or at least when I first downloaded this, I was really excited, and every time I would find different sources of income to add towards my debt payoff, I would update it in this calculator. And I would get really excited and see, I would like challenge myself, okay, how can I pay this card off this month? Or how can I reduce this payoff month to a month earlier? And it would just motivate me in different ways to pay off my debt faster, and also just pay the minimum amount of interest as I can. Okay, so now I'm going to change this to scenario number 2. So this may not resonate with some of you guys as far as having more debt or just different types of debt. And so I created a different scenario 2, which you saw earlier, which is going to include a mortgage. Actually, let's not include the mortgage right now. We're going to do credit card 1. And that one is going to be $6,000 with an interest rate of 19.8% and a minimum payment of $92. We're going to have credit card 2, which I just now realized I didn't have to change. This one is going to be $500 at 22%. So let me just show you right now that issue I was talking about earlier. So if you do the Snowball method, it's not going to do the medical bill first. And so I highly recommend you either change the order, pay off the medical bill first, whether it's minimum payment, setting up minimum payments, or paying it up front, and changing the order up here, because medical bills can then go into collections if you don't pay it off ahead of time. And definitely take that into play. I'm going to set this up as 1, and I'm just going to do a Snowball method customize on the custom column. So we're going to start with the lowest balance, which is the credit card 2. We're then going to do personal loan, and then credit card 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to go to car loan, which is 5, and student loan, which is 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have all of them. Now I'm going to change this to lowest first. So now you can see the medical bill is paid off first. Now we need to change the monthly payment. So originally $935 is the minimum amount of payments that I have to pay. So let's start off with extra $200 a month. Say we're pretty much in paycheck to paycheck. We're just able to make a little bit extra. So we're going to put it at $11.35. That's going to put you at a $200 snowball. And here is the results. We can see that it's going to take 3 months to estimate pay off the medical bill. You have July 2025 as the payoff for all of the debt, and that's just with $200. And the interest is $10,000. So you can see the more debt you have, obviously you're going to pay more interest. And so that is definitely more keen for me to pay the Avalanche. But I also mentioned that if you're just starting out, you may want to start with the debt snowball first, just to get in the groove. And once you see the snowball getting bigger, maybe then you can move it into the debt Avalanche method. But starting off the debt Avalanche method, for those starting out, it may feel like you hit a plateau. Let's go ahead and see what the Avalanche method would be. Obviously, the medical bill is last because there's no interest. The total interest for all of that would be $9,525.79. It shows June instead of July for 2025 payoff, but that's a significant amount difference for interest too. Let's go ahead and go to the lowest first, and we're going to increase that to be a $500 snowball. So we are going to go $14.35. Change to 500, and now you're looking at April 2024, so almost a year sooner. And the interest is now at $7,335.39. So big difference there again. And then if you were to go to Avalanche, you're at $68.02. Now this is what I mean as far as hitting a plateau. This is showing just on $500 a month. You're going to be paying off credit card number 1 for 11 months. That's almost a year. So if you're new, you may start feeling frustrated and lose determination to keep going, or at least go at a good speed, kind of gazelle intense. And so this is where I wouldn't recommend to start if you're just starting out. Hopefully this has helped you guys kind of get insight to how this Excel sheet works. I think everybody should download it, whether you're just starting out, you're in the middle of your debt-free journey, or you're towards the end. It will kind of help show you the interest you'll be paying, and maybe that will light fire for you too to increase your income or decrease your spending. And also too, maybe just to kind of really get a visual of what the interest looks like, because they give you a percentage, but at the end of the statements, that's usually when you can see how much interest you paid the previous month. So with that being said, that's pretty much it. I hope this has helped you guys. If you did find this informational or you just enjoyed the video, make sure you give this video a like, and let me know down below whether you use the debt snowball method or the debt avalanche method. And let me know if you decide to download this and your thoughts. Otherwise, make sure you hit subscribe. That way you can stay tuned and see when I post more videos like this in the future. I have been loving sharing all the advice and tips that I have learned throughout my debt-free journey. And so I hope this has helped you guys throughout your debt-free journey, and if possibly prevent some of the same mistakes I've made. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.